Hello and welcome. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning about how to calculate an average using your math skills and how this connects to salary and your career choices. Before we begin, I want you to think about a job you had in the past or maybe currently have, or something that your friends or family members do for work. How much money do you make? How much money did you make or did they make? And how did you feel about that? Was that something that felt good to you? Would you wish you would have maybe made a little more? As you think about your career choices in the future, I want you to think, how important is the salary for you when making a decision about what career path you choose? Maybe this changes what type of career you're interested in, or maybe it changes where you choose to live. If you want to pause the video, you can take a moment to write in a notebook, to process or think about what's important to you, or maybe think on a scale from 1 to 10. How important is a salary, the amount you make? For most of us, this is pretty important, I would think. Most of us really need to think about the amount we make to support our family and other things. And how do we find this information, or how do we calculate an average using our math skills? That's going to be what today's lesson is all about. So, what is an average? Well, in math, it's sometimes called the mean. So, this is about how much is represented in a set or list of numbers. If you have a group of things or a list of things and you're trying to determine the average, it's just about how much. Before we get into the lesson today, let's go over some vocabulary that's important. Number one is mean. We've got wage, annual, projected, ECE, CNA, data, and sum. As we've already said, the mean is the average, or about how much is in a set or list of numbers. Wage means money earned. This could be hourly or salary. Annual means per year. Projected is what's expected in the future. ECE stands for Early Childhood Education. CNA stands for Certified Nursing Assistant. Data is information or numbers that are used for reference and analysis. And sum is the answer to an addition problem. Now, take a moment right now to pause the video, use the QR code that's on the screen, take your phone, scan the code, and practice these vocabulary words. You can practice matching the words and the definition. You can play a game with it. However much you want to practice, you can. And when you feel comfortable and ready to move on, you can continue with the lesson. If you're ready, let's move on and look at how to calculate an average. Well, you can do this in 3 steps. Number one, you need to gather the data you wish to average. Number two, you need to add up the numbers. Number three, you need to take the sum and divide by the total number of numerals in the data set. This is your average. So let's look at an example and go through each step one at a time. Number one, gather the data you wish to average. Here's an example. Students in this class vary in age. Sonia is 19, Mark is 25, Ed is 28, Fatima is 21, Wong is 30, Sabina is 24, Sophia is 34, Carlos is 22, Tad is 36, and Yo-Yo is 29. So we wish to find the average age in this class, about how old someone is that's in the class. That's the data. Number two, let's add up all the numbers. So in yellow, you'll see every person's age. We want to add up their ages to find the total. And here, if you add them all together, you'll get 268. Now, this is not the average yet. This is the sum, as you remember from our vocabulary words. So the third step now is to take the sum and divide by the total number of numerals. And what this means is we're taking our sum of all of the ages added together, and we're going to divide by how many people are in the class. So let's count them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There are 10 people in this class. So we will divide 268 by 10, and the answer is 26.8. This is your average age. The average age for people in this class is about 26 years old. This isn't the number for every person. Of course, the ages are different. But again, we're finding the average or about how old someone is. Okay. Let's take some time now to practice these with some word problems. You can find access to this in a PDF, or what you can do is read it on the screen, pause the video, and write your answers in a notebook. You'll go through numbers 1 to 10, and you'll answer each word problem, read them very carefully, and make sure to use the steps 1 through 3 to find the average. You can go back in the video, you can watch the steps again, you can pause the video to read these problems more easily. So take some time now to work on this. If you're finished, you're ready to come back, we're going to go over the answer to the first word problem, and then you can find the other answers listed in a link in a PDF. So number 1 says Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, and New Mexico are all southwestern states. Truck drivers in Texas make an average of $48,234 per year. In Oklahoma, they make about $46,329 per year. In Arizona, they make $47,876 annually. In New Mexico, they make $45,987 per year. What is the average wage for truck drivers in these 4 southwestern states? So you're going to take each number, add them together to find the sum, and divide by 4 because there's 4 southwestern states. And your answer is $47,106.50 annually. That's the average wage for truck drivers in all 4 states. The rest of the answers, like I said, you can read in the PDF and you can check and see what you have correct. You can go back in the video and try again if there's some that you need to fix. But let's move on now and actually practice finding this online for our real life, right? These are all examples, but we want to find something that helps us now. I'm going to take you to a website. It's called ONET Online. It's a federal website that has information about occupations across the entire United States. Here is the website ONET Online, and we are going to practice searching for an occupation or a job. We're going to do it by industry. So where it says find occupations, you'll click on the word industry. And I'm going to choose one as an example. Let's go to finance and insurance. We'll click browse. And I'm going to choose one. You'll see a list of different occupations, different codes. You're just going to choose one of the names of the jobs that you find. I'll click on the first one here called tellers, people who work in a bank. And you can find a lot of information. So feel free to read through this if you want to find about skills and activities needed for this job. But we're going to go down to the bottom where it says wages and employment trends. And you can find wages and employment trends by city, by state, by zip code. So you can change the state, you can change and type in a zip code. I'm going to use a Chicago zip code as an example. I'm going to click go. And you'll see here that in the Chicago, Naperville, Elgin area, from this zip code, the annual wages or the salary is on average $44,410. If you live just in the whole state of Illinois in general, right, the average is a little less, about $38,490. In total in the United States, the average is $39,340 per year. You can see the hourly wages if you'd like to check that out for tellers. You could go back and in this same industry, in finance and insurance, you could choose a different job and you could look up the same information. On the worksheet, or you can look on the screen here, this is what you'll be doing. You'll be using the website to look under each of these industries. You'll look for different job titles and you'll look for the average wage in your local area And then you'll look at the average wage in general in the whole United States, and you're going to compare those and you're going to answer the questions below. So you'll be searching in healthcare, social servicing industry, transportation and warehousing, manufacturing, construction, education services. And I can go through those again for you. You can pause the video and you can work on these and write your answers in a notebook if you'd like, or you can download the worksheet and you can write on that. But you'll choose 3 different jobs in each of these industries. When you're finished and you're ready to move on, we'll go to the next section. Now that you've searched for industries in jobs in each industry, you're going to be searching for a job that's interesting to you. You're going to choose one job that you find very interesting that you might want to do in the future, or maybe you have some experience with, and you're going to search for the average wage in different cities or zip codes. And you're going to compare. If I was, for example, a nurse in Chicago, would I get paid on average more than if I were a nurse in, for example, Tennessee? Right? You can choose, you can change the zip code, change the city, and compare based on what's interesting to you. Let me show you how to search using a specific job title. So on the website, last time we searched under industry. This time you're going to just choose occupation keyword search and you'll just type in whatever job is interesting. So dental assistant is the example that they used. And we'll just search for dental assistants. Click on the job. You can read about it, like I said, but let's go down to the bottom and see where the wage and employment trends are. So, for example, I want to look in Chicago. I'm going to find the average wage in Chicago, but maybe I want to change it. And like I used Tennessee as an example, maybe I want to look in Tennessee. And I don't know a zip code in Tennessee, so I'm just going to click on the state and I'm just going to search in general. And here I see that there is the average wage in Tennessee. You can use a different zip code or a different state, but choose something that has importance to you and your life. When you're finished with this, you'll go back, you can record your answers on the worksheet, or you can pause the video, you can write these answers in a notebook. I hope that this lesson was helpful for you as you connect your math skills to your career goals and interests. You can always go back and watch anything again. And I hope that this is helpful for the rest of your career searching and your learning in general.